Beneath our feet, in the damp soil of forest floors worldwide, something extraordinary is happening that defies our understanding of both biology and quantum physics. What appears to be simple decomposition, leaves and wood breaking down, is actually a sophisticated quantum computational process that rivals our most advanced technologies. Today, we'll explore the groundbreaking research that has uncovered quantum computing in fungi and how these humble decomposers might revolutionize our understanding of both forest ecosystems and future technology. The story begins with Dr. Elena Konopka and her team at the University of Helsinki, who made an astonishing discovery while studying ordinary forest decomposition. While we've traditionally understood leaf decomposition through classical biochemistry, fungi and bacteria breaking down complex molecules into simpler ones, their research revealed something far more extraordinary. These decomposing systems are performing operations analogous to quantum computation. The team documented sustained quantum coherence in the electron transport chains of specialized decomposer fungi, particularly in the Mycena genus, commonly known as bonnet mushrooms. These fungi maintain quantum superposition states for up to 400 microseconds, an eternity in quantum terms, despite being in warm, wet environments that should theoretically destroy such delicate quantum states almost instantly. What makes this discovery so revolutionary is that it defies our traditional understanding of quantum decoherence. As Dr. Konopka explained, these quantum effects are occurring in complex biological systems at ambient temperatures. Typically, quantum states are incredibly fragile, requiring near absolute zero temperatures and isolated laboratory conditions to maintain. Yet these fungi are maintaining quantum coherence in the chaotic environment of forest soils. The research shows these fungi leverage quantum tunneling, a process where particles pass through energy barriers that should be impassable under classical physics, to dramatically accelerate the breakdown of lignin, one of the most stubborn components of plant cell walls. This quantum-assisted decomposition achieves up to 60% greater energy efficiency than would be possible through purely classical biochemical pathways. The research team developed specialized spectroscopic techniques adapted from quantum optics to detect these subtle quantum signatures without disrupting the natural decomposition process. Perhaps even more fascinating is how this quantum activity scales across an entire forest floor. The mycelial networks connecting decomposer fungi create what researchers now describe as natural distributed quantum processing system. These underground fungal networks bear striking similarities to proposed designs for fault-tolerant quantum computers. Dr. Hiroshi Yamamoto, a quantum computing specialist who collaborated on the research, noted that the computational complexity happening in a hectare of forest floor is comparable to our most advanced quantum computing prototypes, but uses just a fraction of the energy and has remarkable error correction properties. These mycelial networks function as natural quantum circuits, with individual high-full connections serving as quantum channels that maintain coherence across distances of up to several meters. This distributed architecture allows fungal networks to perform parallel processing of complex decomposition tasks simultaneously across the entire forest floor. Mathematical modeling reveals computational patterns analogous to quantum search algorithms, where the network appears to simultaneously test multiple enzymatic approaches when decomposing organic matter, collapsing to the most efficient solution, similar to how quantum computing evaluates numerous possibilities at once. What's even more remarkable is evidence suggesting these networks adapt their quantum processing capabilities in response to environmental conditions. During drought periods, for instance, the fungi appear to adjust their quantum coherence properties to conserve water while maintaining decomposition efficiency. This represents a form of ecological responsiveness previously unrecognized in quantum biological systems. The fungi have essentially evolved sophisticated error correction mechanisms that operate at the molecular level, protecting quantum coherence despite the chaotic forest environment. Unlike our artificial quantum computers, which typically maintain strict separation between quantum and classical components, the fungal networks seamlessly integrate both processing modalities, shifting between them as needed for different decomposition tasks. These natural systems have solved problems we're still struggling with in laboratory settings, having had millions of years to optimize their quantum processing capabilities through evolution. This discovery has profound implications for sustainable computing technology. Traditional silicon-based quantum computers require enormous energy for cooling systems to maintain quantum states. The fungi-inspired ambient quantum processing could lead to computers that operate at room temperature while consuming minimal power. Several tech companies are already developing prototypes based on these principles. A Finnish-Japanese startup called Quantum Forest Technologies has created experimental chips using organic polymers arranged in mycelium-inspired networks. These prototypes can perform specific quantum operations while consuming less than 1% of the energy required by conventional quantum processors. The biomimetic approach extends beyond energy efficiency to address one of quantum computing's biggest challenges: error correction. Current quantum computers struggle with maintaining quantum states in the face of environmental interference. By studying how fungal systems protect quantum coherence despite the chaotic forest environment, computer scientists are finding new approaches to this fundamental problem. As Dr. Yamamoto notes, nature has solved problems we're still struggling with in the lab. The seamless integration between quantum and classical processing that these fungi demonstrate could revolutionize how we design future computing systems. Beyond technological applications, this research challenges our fundamental understanding of forest ecosystems as passive environments. The quantum processing capacity of decomposing matter suggests a form of distributed intelligence that has been previously unrecognized. As Dr. Konopka suggests, we may need to reconsider what we mean by intelligence in natural systems. These forests are performing incredibly complex computations as part of their ecological function. This perspective aligns with emerging theories of plant cognition and forest communication networks, adding a quantum dimension to our understanding of how information flows through ecosystems. Some researchers now propose that quantum effects may facilitate the well-documented communication between trees via mycorrhizal networks, the so-called wood wide web, through which forest plants share resources and signals. The quantum processing happening in the soil may be an integral part of how forests function as cohesive systems rather than collections of individual organisms. Long-term ecological studies are now being redesigned to incorporate quantum measurements, with preliminary results suggesting that ecosystem resilience may correlate with the quantum processing capacity of soil communities. Forests with more robust quantum networks appear better able to adapt to environmental stressors, including the impacts of climate change. This emerging field of quantum ecology demonstrates how much remains to be discovered at the intersection of quantum physics and biological systems. Old-growth forests, with their complex and established decomposition networks, may represent not just carbon sinks and biodiversity hotspots, but also irreplaceable quantum processing systems that have evolved over centuries. Conservation biologists are beginning to incorporate these findings into protection strategies, arguing that the quantum properties of intact ecosystems represent a previously unaccounted value. Preliminary assessments suggest that disturbed forests take decades to rebuild their quantum processing capabilities, even when vegetation appears to have recovered. As Dr. Fatima Ramos from the Brazilian National Institute for Amazonian Research explains, we've been evaluating ecosystem health through classical metrics like species diversity and carbon sequestration. Now we need to consider quantum integrity as well. It may be that some ecosystem functions depend on quantum properties we've been completely overlooking. Interestingly, this cross-disciplinary research bridges quantum physics, mycology, forest ecology, and computer science in ways that also intersect with indigenous knowledge systems. Many indigenous cultures have long recognized forests as complex, interconnected information processing entities rather than simply collections of individual organisms. Their traditional understanding of forests as intelligent, communicative systems now finds unexpected validation in quantum biology. The convergence of cutting-edge science with ancient wisdom offers not just technological inspiration but a profound reconsideration of our relationship with forest ecosystems. By recognizing forests as sophisticated quantum processing networks, we gain both scientific insight and a deeper appreciation for traditional ecological knowledge that has respected the intelligence of natural systems for millennia. This mutual validation creates new opportunities for collaborative conservation approaches that honor both scientific and traditional understandings of forest ecosystems. As this field develops, researchers are expanding their investigations to determine whether similar quantum processes might be occurring in other biological systems. If decomposition involves quantum computation, what about other ecological processes we've previously understood only through classical biochemistry? The research team is now investigating whether similar quantum effects might play roles in soil carbon sequestration, nitrogen fixation, and even the spread of plant diseases. The methodologies developed to study quantum effects in fungi without disrupting their natural processes are opening new avenues for non-invasive quantum biology research across ecosystems. Universities worldwide are establishing interdisciplinary research centers dedicated to quantum ecology, bringing together physicists, computer scientists, and biologists to explore this frontier. The implications extend beyond forests to agricultural systems, marine environments, and even human-associated microbiomes. What began as an investigation into decomposing leaves has blossomed into an entirely new scientific discipline that may fundamentally change our understanding of life processes at all scales. The discovery forces us to completely rethink what happens during decomposition. What we once viewed as a relatively straightforward thermodynamic process, a chemical breakdown facilitated by enzymes with energy flowing in predictable pathways, now appears to have a quantum dimension that explains long-observed anomalies in decomposition rates which classical models failed to account for. When a leaf falls to the forest floor, it's not just being broken down. It's becoming part of a sophisticated quantum processing system that optimizes resource recycling throughout the ecosystem. This quantum layer helps explain why forest ecosystems can be so efficient at nutrient cycling despite the challenging physical and chemical barriers present in plant material. The fungi are essentially performing quantum calculations to find the most energy-efficient pathways through these barriers, allowing forests to maintain productivity even in resource-limited conditions. This understanding could lead to new approaches in composting, waste management, and bioremediation that leverage quantum principles rather than just chemical ones. The technological implications of these discoveries extend far beyond just quantum computing. Engineers are now looking at the error correction mechanisms in fungal networks to design more resilient communication systems. The way fungi maintain quantum coherence across varying environmental conditions is inspiring new approaches to quantum sensors that could function in previously challenging settings. Materials scientists are studying how the physical structure of mycelium supports quantum effects to develop new quantum-active materials that don't require extreme cold. The energy efficiency of these natural quantum systems is particularly appealing for sustainable technology development. As we develop the next generation of computing technologies, the answer to sustainable quantum processing may have been quietly operating beneath our feet all along. These fungi-inspired designs could lead to technologies that process information with a fraction of the energy requirements of current systems, potentially transforming everything from medical imaging to financial modeling to climate prediction. The biomimetic approach, learning from and imitating nature's designs, is proving particularly valuable in this emerging field. Perhaps the most profound impact of this research is how it transforms our relationship with forests. When we walk through a woodland, crunching leaves beneath our feet, we're not just traversing a collection of trees and decomposing matter. We're moving through an immense, living quantum computer that has been processing information for millions of years. This perspective elevates forest conservation from simply preserving carbon stocks or habitat to preserving irreplaceable quantum systems that may hold solutions to some of our most pressing technological and ecological challenges. The quantum processing capacity of decomposing matter suggests forests possess a form of distributed intelligence we're only beginning to comprehend. These systems perform calculations beyond the capabilities of our most advanced computers, using minimal energy and renewable components. By recognizing the quantum dimension of forest ecosystems, we gain a new appreciation for their complexity and a new imperative for their protection. As we face global challenges requiring both technological innovation and ecological preservation, these quantum forests represent a convergence of both priorities, living systems that embody principles we're striving to implement in our most advanced technologies. What began as research into ordinary forest decomposition has revealed an extraordinary convergence of quantum physics and biology that challenges our fundamental understanding of both forests and computation. The fungi breaking down leaves on the forest floor aren't just recycling nutrients. They're performing sophisticated quantum calculations that optimize ecosystem function with an efficiency our technologies can't yet match. These discoveries bridge scientific disciplines in unprecedented ways, connecting quantum physics with ecology, indigenous knowledge with cutting-edge technology, and conservation with computing innovation. As we continue to explore this quantum dimension of forest ecosystems, we're likely to uncover principles that revolutionize sustainable technology while deepening our appreciation for the irreplaceable value of intact forest systems. The fallen leaf, it turns out, doesn't represent an ending but a transformation into one of nature's most sophisticated quantum processing systems. A reminder that some of our most advanced solutions may be found not in silicon and supercooled laboratories, but in the ancient, ongoing calculations happening beneath our feet in the living forest floor. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for updates. Your feedback is appreciated. We hope to see you again.